I started out working with Jim in 1981. I ran his computer systems back at Ames Lab while he was doing research in applied mathematics. We had the first Sun machine, this first Sun workstation in the lab. Had the first distributed computing system in the lab, and this is all because Jim was on the leading edge of doing things.
So my impression of him was that he was incredibly interesting and driven and passionate.
His motivation for forming the Krell Institute was he wanted to take the lessons learned that he'd had over years of being a university professor at Iowa State and then later a deputy director at Ames Lab. And he said he wanted, it's a payback to the community.
I think he had a deep feeling of responsibility to turn around and help the country through working with the federal government to make things better for science in particular.
Jim's was relentless, supportive, visionary, willing to work through the long, torturous process of getting anything going in the government because he knew it mattered.
Professionally, what made Jim really good was his ability to predict, in a sense, what people might need, what programs might need, what agency might need, before they even realize they need it.
One of the things that Jim really believed strongly in was for the fellows, and really all scientists, to kind of get outside of their own little bubble and to speak to the broader world that really not only is served by their science, but makes their science possible.
He always anticipated the defense that would be necessary and was always building cases and collecting good case studies and promoting science in the language of the common person. Making sure that the students themselves had good elevator speeches.
There are many ways to go about building a community, building a field, building a pipeline. But the approach that Krell has pioneered is really unique, and I would say uniquely impactful because of that.
And what was clear to me was the dedication to the students. Really a strong interest from Jim. Actually, the whole Krell group was trying to drive, let's make sure we get these students the best capabilities. Let's make sure we support them.
Hundreds of careers, those of the fellows themselves and those around them, are day and night better because of him, and mine is certainly one of those.
He liked to give the ones that maybe didn't have the best chance of getting somewhere on their own. He wanted to give them that opportunity. The ones who maybe struggled a little bit.
Maybe the first time I was on the selection committee, Jim patiently explained to me that people express themselves passionately. And Jim advised me that though my tendency might be as a newcomer to hang back, that I should try to engage in a similar kind of way. It was all fine to put it out there and see what's done with it, rather than the tendency to sort of hang back and get the landscape and see a little bit more of the landscape. And I found that especially useful.
I can go back and see him standing around with his arms folded, watching all this and absorbing all this and taking it in and making a decision, I'm sure in his head, is this going the way that it ought to go? Is this healthy? Am I building community here?
And we spent many, many hours talking about the interesting aspects of the government and how it works, but he never lost that optimism. We could make it better. We could help them understand more. We could take the limited resources they have and really have a multiplying effect on the impact they could have in the community.
So I hope in my capacity as president of Krell Institute that I can continue to move Jim's vision forward and grow this company into what I believe he wanted it to be, to continue to serve these communities, to continue to educate these young scientists, and make an impact on the nation and the world.
I think his his drive and his sense of humor and in particular and his personality will just be deeply missed by all of us.
I wish I had a recording of Jim saying, "Keep having fun," like he always did. So I'll miss that.